HRM, just for you to understand. Of course, human resource manager, those that basically are those person who are holding tight of the policy and procedure of the property. So each of the company will have policy and procedure depending on the brand. What I'm talking is mostly about hotel. So HRM is one of the person who will hold it dear and also will be the one who is very expert in terms of the law. So policy and procedure of the company is one thing, but law is another thing. Which law? We are talking about labor law lah. Yeah. So labor law is definitely one of the things that HRM needs to know. In terms of other management, like for example, the management we're talking about, for an example, a front office, we have the front office manager. So front office manager is the person who is responsible for the, what do you call this, growth and development of each of their associate. Yeah, so meaning to say that under front office manager, for example, there are 20 associates in front office department. He or she is responsible for the growth. Like, what is the next step for this particular person? Are they going to? Is this person is suitable to be a supervisor next? And what is the development plan for this person? In order to step up to the next level. So that's an example of responsibility of a manager for each area. So meanwhile, HR is of course taking care of the whole hotel, all associate. If we have 230 associate, for example, in Park Royal Langkawi Resort, so it is the HRM responsibility is basically to make sure that 230 associates are happy and all good, basically. Yeah. So that's about it.
Okay. Hi, Ms. Sharifah. My name is Hajima. Okay, I will continue my question, which is, what challenges do you face in attracting and recruiting qualified employee in this industry?
Okay. The challenges basically, we can feel it so much right after COVID, actually. Because as you know, during COVID, it affected hospitality. So because of that, a lot of people actually is scared to go into hospitality, because what if it's happened again? That's what in their mind. If it's happened again, will I have the future? Will I have a job? Will I get terminated, and so on? So those are the questions that they have in mind. But then slowly it's getting better, especially thanks to the colleges and university who are still providing all those knowledge education towards the in regards to the hospitality industry. And then of course another challenge would be, I would say, now that we have all those social media or maybe applications such as Grab, Foodpanda, TikTok, and so on. So a lot of, I would say, Gen Z, which is all of you, loves to work on their own, which we don't have it previously. Maybe 10 years ago, no. But then there's a lot of, influence to actually work by themselves. So for them, it's like, I want to work on my own. I don't want to have a boss. I don't want to report to anyone. So let me just, drive a Grab. Let me just deliver food. Let me just do a TikTok video and upload it and become a TikToker, something like that. So that's one of the challenges so that we have that reduce the interest of hospitality.
Okay, I get it. Okay, so the next question is, high turnover is often reported in tourism and hospitality. So, from your experience, Ms. Sharifah, what are the main reasons the employee leave?
Okay. High turnover is something normal, but it really depends on the timing and the situation also. Because why? Hotel industry, hospitality industry people would jump. Unlike government industry, I mean a government related company or other company, they might work in one company for 10, 15, 20 years maybe. Meanwhile, hospitality industry, as an HR person, I would say it's very important for you to jump. You shouldn't stay more than 5 years in one company because it's going to be very difficult for you to learn and grow. Because each company or each brand will have a different policy, different guideline, different way of learning. So if you are stuck in one brand or one company, you are only learning one thing. So you don't really learn a lot. So, but it doesn't mean that you should jump every 6 months or 1 year. Then it doesn't look good in your resume as well, and you don't able to fully learn about that particular brand yet. So 2 or 3 years is good, 4 years is good also, but when it comes to 5 years, it's about time for you to think about where should I go next. So yes, turnover is very normal, especially in Langkawi when there's one property is opening. Yes, we are expecting high turnover because that's how it is. We jump around.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure.
Assalamualaikum, Ms. Sharifah. The next
Waalaikumsalam.
question is, which recruitment method or sources have worked best for your organization and why?
Which recruitment method? I think I have shared this in the talk also the other day in UUM. Our recruitment method is actually hire internally, meaning to say that this actually works very well in Park Royal Langkawi. Is either we identify intern or part-time. Because we do have part-time and we do have interns. So when we want to hire and fill up our vacancy, instead of focusing the outside and start looking at the outside, we will start looking for intern and part-time. Those who are very good, in terms of their performance, and that's how we actually recruit them and hire them to be a permanent. And it works well for us so far.
And the next question is, what type of training program are most important for employees in your organization?
Okay, we do a lot of training, I would say, but if you ask me which one is important, of course, the mandatory training that we are currently doing that everyone needs to attend is the orientation. So when the associate joined, the first thing that they need to do is to join 2 days orientation. 2 full days orientation to learn about the property, to learn about the company, because at the end of the day, they need to be proud of where are they working. So they need to learn about the company, they need to learn about the property before they actually go out there and start working. So yes, orientation is one of the most important training, which will happen 2 days in total. Did I answer your question, Shafwani? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi Puan Sharifah, my name is Umi Aiman. For the next question is, what challenge do you encounter when implementing effective training and career development program for employee?
A challenge that I have in terms of planning effective. I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Implementing effective training and career development program for employee.
Okay. Okay. A training can be done easily, but an effective training is not easy to be done. Because at the end of the day, we want to measure whether after this training, if it works or it doesn't work, right? So yes, training is very simple. I can just do a training, but then afterwards, what will happen? So yes, one of the challenge that I have in terms of planning is like what I said just now, turnover. If I train someone and try to develop someone and that person leave, that's one of the challenge also, because we try to develop and that person actually goes somewhere else, which is very normal, but then it happens. Second of all is that a training that I planned somehow didn't follow through. Meaning to say that after a training, what should happen, as I mentioned, we should measure the progress. If that person truly learned, if that person truly executed during work, at workplace, and what is the result. That is actually an effective training. But what mostly happens sometimes is that after training, that person step out of the classroom, but unfortunately, it was not practic. It was not being done. So usually 90% of the time when you learn something in the classroom, if you don't do it, you will forget. And that's the human being. That's me, that's you, all of us. So that's one of the challenge that I have, which people forget most of the theory that they learn because it was not being practiced accordingly.
Thank you. For the next question is, how do you ensure employee remain motivated and consistently maintain high service quality despite the demanding nature of the industry?
Okay, we have a lot of recognition program, and one of the recognition program is to recognize the associate if their name has been mentioned by guests positively. There are two ways of guest mention. One, guest can mention your name in negative way, or guest can mention your name in a positive way. So if the guest mention your name in a positive way, you will get recognition. Recognition wise, nowadays they want money, so we will give them money. So they will give them cash. So that's what makes them motivated to always mention their name to the guests. My name is Sharifah. If you need anything else, you let me know. My name is Sharifah. So they want the guests to know their name. So it motivates them because if the guests mention their name, they will get extra cash. So that's one way that we motivate them.
Okay, hi Miss Sharifa. So I want to ask about what are the biggest people management challenges you face as a leader in this sector?
Challenge people management. Oh my God, there are so many. Let me think of one. Because people management. There's a lot of times whereby in a team you will have a certain team which is very motivated when they wanted to grow. Meanwhile, the other side of the team very demotivated, or they are not happy basically. So having that in a team, sometimes it can affect the environment. There's always one bad apple, in the team. So it can affect others. Yeah. So for us to make sure that the rest of the team keep motivated, we need to make sure that it doesn't affect. So that is why we have what we call misconduct. Misconduct has a policy. We have a minor misconduct, we have a major misconduct, and we have a serious misconduct. So sometimes if that person didn't perform well, we can also issue a misconduct to basically make sure that they know that this is not what they're supposed to do. Misconduct is actually a disciplinary action, or in a simple term, you will hear a warning letter or a counseling and so on. That is another terms of it. So in order for us to manage this kind of people, sometimes we have to issue those kind of letter. Because if we don't issue those kind of letter, meaning to say that it's okay for them to do what they are doing, which is not good. And as you know, warning letter, if we issue 3 times for the same reason, that person can be terminated. That's how we manage these people. Why we issue 3 times is because if you terminate someone without any reason, it can go to the court. Boleh pergi ke mahkamah. So we don't want that to happen. So if let's say, that's why it's very important, we always tell the managers, if something happened, you need to document it. It's very important to document it. If you don't document it, there is no reason for you to terminate these people. Even though how bad they perform also, you have no reason to do that and you cannot do it, because at the end of the day that person can bring you to the court. So yes, documentation is super duper important, and that's how we manage this kind of people lah.
Okay, thank you. So my last question is, what HR related change or improvement so do you think are necessary for the tourism and hospitality industry to grow?
Sorry, which one is the question? I heard macam ada dua benda. Can you repeat again, Haliza?
What HR related change or improvement so do you think are necessary for tourism and hospitality industry to grow?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, let's go to the second question. Yes, absolutely. Hospitality and tourism definitely is very important to grow. And what HR change? Basically, what I can say is that okay, this is very important. I think that especially for HR in hospitality, if you want to compare HR in hospitality and HR in other industry, we are very different, because HR usually people will say that very fierce, garang, everything is about disciplinary. They don't smile, not friendly, takut nak pergi HR and everything, right? So that's what HR is well known for. But maybe that one is in a different industry. In hospitality, if you want to be HR in a hotel industry, you cannot be that way. Why is that? Because hospitality in nature, everyone needs to be smiley, everyone needs to be kind, everyone needs to be friendly, and so on. So for me, if I expect my associate to greet the guests, good morning, good afternoon, how are you doing? Welcome to Pak Raya Langkawi. And why do you think I shouldn't do that to the associate? So it's the same thing if I have a new hire, new staff coming in, I have to welcome the same way. Welcome to Pak Raya Langkawi. Welcome on board with a smile. So unless a factory HR or banking HR, it will be very different now, because it's hospitality is different. So very, very different. If you see HR in hospitality and HR in other industry, we are a very different people, and we cannot just be garang. Yeah, and then we also need to always do an event to motivate them and to entertain them. Actually, this is the improvement that we did since many, many years. There's a lot of events. I think you have seen before maybe how Google Office is. Ada bin bag lah, ada slide lah turun, Actually, it started from those kind of company that create so many things for the staff to make them feel motivated to work in the office. Like so many toys, ada free food and everything. Those culture now become very common. Even in hotel right now, we provide free food from time to time. We bring like all store, like apam balik, like like takoyaki and everything, just to make them happy. We bring outside vendors, to come here so that they are very happy to eat and so on. So yes, this is the improvement that we have as an HR in hospitality industry in 2025.
Okay, that's all.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you, Ms. Sharifah, for taking time and answer all the question today. So we really appreciate your sharing about your thoughts and experience about the HR in hotel. So before we end up our session, can we get picture together?
Yes, of course.
One, two, three. Problem ada seorang boleh tolong ambil screenshot tak? Problem saya punya tab. Okay. So that's all from us. So we'll appreciate Miss thank you, Miss Sharifah. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much as well for inviting me.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Miss
Bye.
Sharifah.